we've got your Raiders covered.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
This is Silver and Black Tonight on CBS Sports Radio 1140. And now, here's your host, Scott Gobranson.
Well, Raider Nation, it happened. Oh, it did. The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions for the second time in franchise history, 50 years after their first World Championship, and the first time in 5 years an AFC West team has won the Super Bowl, and just the fifth time in 36 years, dating back to the Raiders' last Super Bowl victory in 1984, that an AFC West team has won the Super Bowl. Welcome back to Silver and Black Tonight here on CBS Sports Radio 1140 in the capital. Oh, yes, it is the capital of Raider Nation. That is Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Scott Gobranson, your host. Flying solo tonight. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have my guy, my rock. Hey, Rock. Mark Bonilla.
How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing good, my man. You're in there. What are you watching? The State of the Union in there?
Nope, still watching hockey.
There might be a fist fight at the State of the Union.
That would be epic.
That would be epic, the way things have gone. You know what? If it was just a little more like English Parliament where they yelled at each other, that would be a little more fun, I think. I mean, they're yelling at each other through the media. Why not do it in person? Anyway, we're back here, and we are also asking you to keep me company. Chaz Osborne, my usual co-host, is the international man of leisure, and he is on special assignment flying somewhere. We're not sure where, but he's on his way there.
Usually calls in. Couldn't call in today?
No,
He's busy?
I told him, just worry about your flight, man. He wanted to come in. He was going to say, I'll come in for the first half hour. I'm like, nah, you live on the other side of town. Just go. It's okay. But because I have Raider Nation to keep me company, I want you guys to call in, because we're going to talk about some stuff today that I know riles up the crowd. So give me a call. I tweeted out the wrong number because it's our old studio number, but my friend Wally's going to go nuts on me. 702-733-5968. That's 702-733-5968. Call me, and we'll get you on the air as well to talk about this. Listen, it's a no-win situation for Raiders fans. Super Bowl 54 that was. It was the hated Kansas City Chiefs, the bitter division rivals. The Raiders have really been unable to beat the last several seasons. And the former Cross Bay rivals in the 49ers, the bandwagon fan favorite. Yes, I said it. They are. The 49er fans, they've been around for 5 years. Suddenly they go into the Super Bowl. Everybody's a 49er fan. It's hysterical. But it was a good game. I enjoyed it. Did you guys? Did you enjoy the game? Mark, did you watch the game?
I thought it was a great Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was absolutely fun.
Yeah, despite the teams and despite the fact that Pat Mahomes, I thought, looked like crap the first three quarters, he came back. And you know what? I know Raider fans don't like to give any Chiefs credit, but I enjoy watching Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he again, it's about how you finish. One of my favorite movies of all time, Glenn Ross. Coffee is for closers. Right? Pat Mahomes gets coffee, baby, because he looked like crap. He comes back. I was arguing with one of our fellow media members online after the game saying, well, Pat Mahomes shouldn't have got MVP. It should have went to Williams, who by the way, is a San Diego kid, who had 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. No, Patrick Mahomes, in the last quarter, you're talking 10 of 17, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. After just being terrible the rest of the game. That's incredible. So you can hate on Patrick Mahomes if you're a Raiders fan, and I get it. Rival, the whole thing. But whether you like it or not, he is now the face of the NFL. I know Lamar Jackson, the MVP, is also one as well. But I'll tell you, it was a fun game to watch. It was close. The last several Super Bowls, I should say the Patriots won the previous year, which is even worse for Raiders fans. But this game, you look at what the Raiders have to deal with the Chiefs, and we're going to talk about that after the break coming up, is what the Raiders have to deal with for the next decade at least. Patrick Mahomes is going to get a deal in this offseason. They're going to sign him long-term. A lot of Raider fans incorrectly are, it's going to put him into hell or cap hell, and then they're not going to be any good. No. You don't understand how contracts are structured. The Chiefs are not going to be bad because they give Patrick Mahomes $200 million, okay? But they're going to lock him up. And the Raiders, specifically John Gruden, Mike Mayock, they have got to now, and they have been, I believe, planning to build their roster with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in mind. You have to, okay? And we're going to talk more about that in the next portion. But the Super Bowl, I thought, I was watching Raider fans, oh, man, just kind of going crazy because of who the game pitted against one another, the Chiefs and the 49ers. And that alone was angsty for the Raider fans. The fact that again, the Raiders were not in the Super Bowl, not in the playoffs, and you had to watch your bitter rivals, the Chiefs. That's painful, and I get it. And so Raider fans were making fun of Chiefs fans. They're fighting with Chiefs fans now. And then the stupid doofuses that are Charger fans, which I used to be one, they're out there arguing with Raider fans. Like, are you kidding me? You're the Chargers, by the way, folks. The Los Angeles Chargers of Tustin and El Toro. Oh, and Carson. They are the only AFC West division team without a Super Bowl championship. The big donut, the big Homer Simpson. They got nothing, right? You got the Chiefs now have 2, Broncos have 3, and the Raiders have 3, okay? And you have Charger fans talking trash to Raider fans. It's pretty funny when you think about it. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And so we're just sitting back waiting for the season. There's a lot of things to talk about. The Tom Brady stuff has not calmed down. I mean, it has a little bit, but it hasn't. It's been a point of conversation around the league, in the media. I get fans yelling at me, stop it. We have a video up on YouTube from last Sunday's show talking about it, where I actually say it's not going to happen, and people are like, why do you keep doing this? And I'm like, what, telling you that it's not going to happen? So when you see content, read it or watch it before you comment on it. I know that's hard, but do it, please. But that to me is a conversation that we'll talk about too later in the show, because whether you want to see it happen or not, doesn't matter. We had Tim Brown, of course, who's a special place in my heart, not because he's just a Raider, but also because he is a Golden Domer, and I'm a big Notre Dame football fan, right? He came out today talking about Derek Carr and saying Derek Carr is going to be fine. Derek Carr just needs some more weapons, which is a story or a narrative we've heard from a lot of fans in Raider Nation. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. But I want to know what you guys think. 702-733-5968. That's what you call in, 733-5968 in the 702 area code. And to me, you look back at the Super Bowl, and if you're Raiders fans, which assuming you are listening to Silver and Black tonight, then we have to look at the Chiefs and say, okay, that's the team you got to look up to. That's the team you got to beat. How do they win? Well, everybody talked about the 49ers defense. 49ers defense, best defense in the NFL, right? Bosa, Rookie of the Year, the whole deal, which is another chafing for Raider fans because Josh Jacobs should have won it. But nonetheless, the 49ers defense, so good, right? And they did. They played well. The Chiefs defense played well. So we had a lot of people saying, see, defenses win championships. My partner Chaz, when he's here, beats that drum, right? But guess what, folks? The Chiefs, they score 21 points in the final 8 minutes of the game. So you could talk about defense, and yes, defense is helpful. Don't get me wrong, and I'll explain myself later. But when you look at the defense, if you have an offense like the Kansas City Chiefs and a Patrick Mahomes back there, quarterback, guess what happens? You can be down by 3 touchdowns and still win. Okay? Even against a great defense like the 49ers. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong, and you know I'm not wrong. You have to have a top 10 offense, I'd say top 8 even, and then you have to have I'd say 15 or above defense to win the Super Bowl, in my view. Now, the Chiefs' defense was much worse than 15th, okay? But it goes to show you in the NFL, the way the rules are, the way the offenses are spread out, you need to have an offense that scores points. Raiders have a great offense in points, in parts. The Raiders couldn't score points in the second half last year. That's why they didn't make the playoffs. Plain and simple, okay? So if you want to look at it, you can hate the Chiefs all you want, Raider Nation, but you got to look up to them and say, man, we need an offense that's going to do more of that. And I think the pieces are there. Mike Mayock, John Gruden, great job. Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Foster Moreau, that offensive line, Richie Incognito, Trent Brown. All right? You got guys there. You got to go get a receiver. I know. But they're on the right path there, okay? But you got to score points. Did they not score points last year because they didn't have a wide receiver? Baltimore didn't have a wide receiver either, and they scored a lot more points. Now, their quarterback's different, and we got a caller on the line.
We got Ed on the line. Ed.
All right, we have Ed. Ed from Raider Nation. He's calling in. Ed, what do you got for me tonight, my man?
Hey, man. I love it. These guys, defense wins championships all the way up through, 2015, 2014. That was the true saying in the NFL. And it really, you needed a real, true, honest-to-God defense to win in the NFL then.
Yeah.
It was not going to happen. But what's good defense today?
Yeah.
If you have a good defense today is solid tackling, a solid coverage in your secondary. Don't leave guys wide open, guys who follow assignments, even if guys make passes. And good tackling. Don't let them get yards after catch, right?
Right.
Force some turnovers. Get some pressure on the quarterback. Not even necessarily sack the quarterback. Hit him, knock him around, get to him, make him rush throws. That's good defense today. And if you can stuff the run, all the better. The quicker you stop the run, that's it.
No, you're right,
defense
Ed.
Defense used to be keep them scoreless. It used
Right.
to be keep them to 3 points, shut them down to 7.
And Ed, that's my point.
Rules don't do that.
No, it's different rules. You're exactly right, and that's my point, right? Which is, it's no longer the same. It's not the 1985 Chicago Bears, right? It's not that kind of defense. It's a defense where I'm not going to say bend but don't break, but you need to disrupt the quarterback because this is a quarterback league. Okay, that's why Kyler Murray won Offensive Rookie of the Year, right? Not because he was better than Josh Jacobs, but because it's a quarterback league. They're going to always put a quarterback ahead of a running back these days. Okay, if it was 1984, different story maybe. Okay, but you're right. You have got to have a defense now that will pressure and do enough to put your offense in the position to win a game.
Yes. Defense in the NFL, once upon a time, what most fans today, when they say defense wins championships, defense in the NFL used to be keep them to no scoring to low scoring to a couple field goals, and if you got a touchdown, that was it. I mean, that used to be defense wins in the NFL.
Exactly. No, you're right.
Today, defense wins in the NFL if you get them to go. If you can make a team go 7 or 8 3-and-outs, or even drives where they got to punt it away. Turnovers on downs. Them are defensive wins today. That's really what you got. So the truth of the matter is you can build the San Francisco 49er defense today, and it can be a solid defense. I mean, you can have all your categories covered statistically, okay, in stops and everything, and that's all great. But complementary football today with great defense means your offense is going to stay on the field and put up points.
You're right, and we saw that 49er defense, right, play really well against Mahomes. Mahomes looked bad to begin with, but I don't know that was the defense.
Yeah, he did.
That wasn't so much a defense. He just wasn't. He was out of sorts. But the point is that they could not score, and they could not at the end of the game when Jimmy Garoppolo had to hit the open receiver. He didn't. Okay, so you didn't win, and you gave up again. You had an offense against the best defense, okay, scored 21 points in 8 minutes.
Yep.
And so
and that's the thing is and the old school mindset, I was texting with people during the game and I hear, "Oh, it's over. Oh, it's over. Oh, this done."
I was one of those.
They've got him. Yeah, and I'm like, it's not over until it's not over.
You're right.
I mean,
you're right.
Until there's too much time left, it's not over. I mean, we saw, what did we watch? Pat Mahomes, if you remember the start of the game with the Texans, that was a blowout right off the bat.
24.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
and then by the halftime, it was like, wow, are the Chiefs even going to bother coming out of the locker room? They already slaughtered them.
They did.
It was, so how could anyone in the most important game of, up to this point, Andy Reid's and Pat Mahomes' careers, how could anybody possibly write them off? And the other thing that I would also mention is, and you're going to start seeing this trend more and more in the NFL, and I know you can look at it from an analytics standpoint, that you're going to start finding more and more these days that the teams with good defenses are also the teams that have great offenses.
Yes.
Because
and that's what you're seeing.
when your offense stays on the field and your offense scores, the other team has to respect what happens and with your offense. And if your offense
you can't
isn't
sleep.
any good,
Ed,
they will take chances on you.
Right. And Ed, man, thank you so much for your call. We appreciate your support and listening to the show. And that's it, right? That's the point is you cannot sleep on offenses anymore. So you can have the best defense in the world like the 49ers did. And guess what happened? They gave up 21 points to end the game and lose the Super Bowl. They went home losers. So, Ed, again, thank you for the call, my man. All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we're going to talk about what do the Raiders do for the next 10 years against this Chiefs team. I want to hear, what do you think they need to do? Is it build their defense better? Is it they need to have more offensive weapons? You tell me. 702-733-5968. You're listening to the Silver and Black tonight here on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
CBS Sports Radio.
Sound off with Silver and Black tonight on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Welcome back, Silver and Black tonight here on CBS Sports Radio 1140. Just a couple programming notes. Coming up 7:30 tonight, pregame for Nevada basketball. That's right, UNR, the Wolfpack, taking on Air Force with a little bit of hoops action. Make sure you listen to that here as well. Also, just a note that next week's Silver and Black tonight will be our last one of the season. That's right. We go on a little bit of hiatus until next football season with the nighttime show. Doesn't mean the Sunday show won't be here. We'll be here every Sunday still through the off season, 8 to 10 a.m. Our Tuesday night show will take a little bit of a break because we have lots of basketball and Dodger baseball as well. We are the home of the Dodgers in Las Vegas, of course. So you got to make sure you do that as well.
And more surprises to come. But you have a special guest on Sunday.
Yes, I have a special guest on Sunday, Tom Fornelli, who wrote a piece we're going to talk about now, right? Which is, and we heard Paul and Lindsay on the Playmakers. If you don't listen to the Playmakers, by the way, you need to. 3 to 6 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, here on CBS Sports Radio 1140. General sports, they talk Raiders, they talk Golden Knights, all Las Vegas sports. They talk about Lindsay's mug, her big mug. She likes her beverages. So make sure you listen to the Playmakers as well. We are building something really cool here at CBS Sports Radio 1140 in Las Vegas, so make sure you do it. All right, Tom Fornelli, CBSSports.com, did his mock draft. Now, there's mock drafts. They're going to be, we're going to see mock drafts from here to eternity over the next month and a half, right, until we get to, well, it's actually 2 months, until we get to April and the draft comes, right? And I know some people don't like looking at them early, and some people don't. But Tom's going to be on the show Sunday, and Tom has his mock draft out. Joe Burrow, number 1. The Chase Young, the edge, of course, out of Ohio State, going number 2. And then, at number 3, he's got the Raiders. Yes, your Raiders. The Silver and Black. The Las Vegas Raiders. Thank you, Mark. Moving up to number 3 and taking a kicker. No, I'm just kidding. Taking Tua Tagovailoa, right? Taking the quarterback. Yes. This is what he has. Las Vegas, the home of Tua. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean Tom Brady's coming here? I know. Let's all relax. Don't send me hate mail. I'm not saying it's going to happen. We'll ask Tom why he came to this conclusion. But it's interesting because this is the question I pose to all of you, and you can call in at 702-733-5968. Tell me your opinion on this.
I'm not going anywhere.
But here's the deal. What are if you think about what the Raiders need to do to build this team, they've been in this rebuilding process, made great progress last year. Okay? Yes, they didn't make the playoffs. Yes, they finished the year 1-5, but they made great progress. Let's not forget that. Okay. But you have got to face Pat Mahomes for the next 10 years. He's going to get a long-term deal in Kansas City, and God forbid, barring any injury, he's going to be there for a long time, okay? Now, it doesn't mean the Chiefs are going to be constantly just this amazing team forever, but they are going to be good. You have got to plan for Patrick Mahomes being in your division, playing him twice a year. Okay? So with that in mind, what are you going to do if you're John Gruden and Mike Mayock? Is it what I think they should do maybe, and that is go defense in the first round? Or is Tua such a game changer and the kind of quarterback that you need in the future? And this is nothing against Derek Carr. I'm not going down that road right now. What I'm talking about, though, is what Mike Mayock said last or 2 weeks ago to our good friend Vic Tafur at The Athletic. He said, we will try to get better at every position all the time. If an opportunity comes up where we can get better, we will do it. That was his answer to their commitment to Derek Carr. And I think they are committed to Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr will be here next year. Again, but we'll talk about that after the break because we're going to talk about Tom Brady. But in this mock draft that Tom has, Tom Fornelli on CBSSports.com, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. He has them moving up, right? Trading up from 12 with the Lions and giving the Lions also the number 19 pick. So he's got them trading 12 and 19 to move up to take Tua. So is that what you need to do if you're the Raiders? Do you have to think about the next-gen type quarterback? And again, not a Derek Carr bash. It's just the Lamar Jacksons, the Kyler Murrays, the Pat Mahomes. They're different types of quarterbacks than Derek Carr is. Okay? Is that what you need to beat the Chiefs and win a division title? Or are you going to have to be playing for a wild card berth every year if you're the Raiders? Because you don't have that kind of dynamic offense. Or do you just need to build a defense to stop Patrick Mahomes? Which to my question to you would be, what is that? What is that? The 49ers had the best defense in all the world this year. And guess what happened? Pat Mahomes has a crappy game, and they still don't beat him. He scores 21 on them in 8 minutes to win the big game, the Super Bowl, right? So if that's the case, what do you do if you're the Raiders? All defense? Offense? Do you move up and grab a quarterback? Because you're going to have Mahomes in your division. Drew Lock, he showed some promise. I'm not convinced yet, so we'll see what he's going to be like. More than likely, the Chargers are going to have Justin Herbert, who I like. A lot of people don't, but I think he's going to actually surprise people. They're going to take him at number 6 in the first round. Okay? And then, of course, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati, not in the division, but in the conference. So if you're the Raiders, the next 10 years, you got to look at what you're going to do to overcome KC. And so the Raiders are going to have to decide, is that we have to go that new offensive route? We have to go and do what we've seen Baltimore and Kansas City and Arizona and these other teams do? Is that what they're going to have to do? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But that's the question. You tell me what you think. 702-733-5968. We're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, Tom Brady to the Raiders. Oof. It makes a lot of people upset. A lot of people getting mad. We're going to talk about that next. Why I don't think it's going to happen, but why I also think it could happen. Contradictory, yes. You're listening to the Silver and Black Tonight here on CBS Sports Radio, 1140.
I'm out. When you need inside info on your Raiders, you'll find it here. This is Silver and Black Tonight on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Welcome back, Silver and Black Tonight. Some breaking sports news and a score update for you. I'll get you a Golden Knights score update in a second if you're on your way home after a day of the grind. If you're a Dodgers fan, the day just got a lot better. And, of course, we are the official station of the Los Angeles Dodgers here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mookie Betts and starting pitcher David Price, according to reports, especially from Jeff Passan, of course, the MLB insider for ESPN.com, reporting that Betts and David Price are packing their bags and they're heading to Hollywood. Right? So, big trade. Mookie Betts had been on the block for a long time, and clearly the Red Sox got a partner. They also are sending, reportedly, David Price. So the Dodgers, not only do they get a good player in Mookie Betts, but they also get another pitcher, which you can never have too much pitching. Also, quick update, if you're not DVRing the Golden Knights game, if you are and you don't want a spoiler, then turn down the radio in 3, 2, 1. Golden Knights just went final, have lost in Tampa Bay 4-2. So Golden Knights go down to Tampa and lose again. They don't do really well in Tampa. But anyway, we're back to Raider football, and we're going to talk about Tom Brady. Do you want Tom Brady to be a Raider? Tommy Tuck rule? Tommy Tuck rule. Do you want him to be a Raider? Tell me why or why not. 702-733-5968. 6 Super Bowl rings. He can't fit all 6 on his hands because they're too big. Although I did love Bill Belichick's little flash of the rings at the Super Bowl. He only had 3 on.
He got booed, though.
he did get booed. Well, yeah, you get booed. When you're a cheater, you get booed. He might have the rings, but he didn't know he might be the best coach ever. But nonetheless, he's still a cheater. Cheaters prosper, accordingly, as you saw with the Houston Astros. Anyway, but Tom Brady, so the reports have not died down. We're seeing a lot of folks in the media. Dan Orlovsky at ESPN today said he would love to see it happen, that the Raiders are not that far away, implying that the Raiders are just a quarterback away from maybe making a run, which I don't necessarily agree with. But I'll tell you, I think that, where there's smoke, there's some fire, yes. And I'll tell you why I don't think it's going to happen in a minute. But why it could happen is John Gruden has been a guy who surprises me constantly. Nobody thought Khalil Mack would ever be traded, right? Nobody thought all these things would happen. And again, this is not a day and age where agents don't work the media and all that kind of stuff. But Adam Schefter reporting it one way, and some of the other guys who've been reporting it, those aren't the kind of people who sensationalize things usually. And so a lot of people say, he's going to end up back in New England. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll be in New England because they're really on a downward spiral. They have no offensive line, okay? They have no receivers. Their offense is just starting to crumble. It's just, the end is nigh, right? It's happening. So if you're him, where are you going to go? You're going to go somewhere where you at least have some pieces in place. The Chargers have been one people have talked a lot about, right? The Chargers have a crappy offensive line. They got to improve it. Now, if they improve it significantly, I could see him there. Okay? So Las Vegas makes sense, but then that means the Derek Carr era is over. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think Derek Carr, as I've said all along, I got to sound like a drone, he'll be under center when the Raiders take the field here in Las Vegas in Allegiant Stadium. But it could happen. I think it's less than a 10% chance, but it could happen if Joe Fornelli's piece, his mock draft was true, and they moved up and they got Tua, then you get Brady. But then my question is, if Brady comes and you have Tua, Brady's going to come for 1 year? I don't think so. So I think there's just too many pieces here that point to it not happening. Doesn't mean they're not talking about it or they might consider it. And it doesn't matter that he bought a house here. And we have a good authority that he did. But that doesn't matter. A lot of people buy houses here. When I was in college here, I used to run into Albert Bell all the time at the grocery store because he bought a house here. The tax situation in Nevada, you can put your money here and buy a house, and it's taxed. You don't have all the income tax you have elsewhere. You got to pay it elsewhere, yes, but you can shelter some of your money in your property here as well. So buying a house has nothing, just like Derek Carr having a house next to John Gruden means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. It means Derek Carr wants to be in Las Vegas, yes, and it means he thinks he's going to be in Las Vegas, and I think he is too. But fans who think, well, he wouldn't buy a house. Listen, when you have $100 million, you can buy whatever the heck you want, wherever the heck you want, and sell it the next day. Doesn't matter. So I don't think Tom Brady and the Raiders happens. But if it did happen, it only happens because they do something else. They do something to get a young quarterback that they believe is going to be the future. In the meantime, I think they can do the same thing with Derek Carr there. You can have Derek Carr. You can draft a young quarterback and groom him. If Carr works out, great. You could keep him. You can trade him because he'll have more value because he did really well. Or you keep him and you let the other guy mature underneath him. But in this day and age, mature underneath him usually means like a year or two at the most. I mean, you saw what happened with Mahomes, right? We've been talking about him all night. That's what happens is you get a guy, these players in the new offenses and the new type of quarterback, version 2.0 that we're seeing with the Jacksons and the Mahomes and the Watsons is they can play right away. They're athletic. They're good. They come in. They can play in these new offenses and in the NFL with the new rule set. So, to me, that's it. I just don't think it's going to happen. All right? Yes, it would be splashy and it'd be sexy and everybody get excited and they'd sell a lot of jerseys, but they're going to sell a lot of jerseys anyway. People are going to get excited here. You have Josh Jacobs. You have this young roster, Max Crosby, right? You have all Jonathan Abram, who's all over. Jonathan Abram, by the way, I see like 4 times on my way to the office in the morning from my house and on my way back. They're putting Jonathan Abrams all over Las Vegas. So if number 24 is listening, man, you are now the king of Vegas already because you're on every billboard. But they're going to have – people are excited here. You know, we were at the Stage Door Casino on Saturday with the Black Hole folks, the official Black Hole folks who now have an office here in Las Vegas. We were there with Violator, El Senor. We were there, the mistress of the Black Hole. We were all of them, and they were all telling me how impressed they were with Las Vegas and the adoption of the Raiders as the hometown team, and they haven't even played here yet. So the whole thing about marketing splash, which everybody outside Las Vegas in the media, some really good folks out there too, talking about it, I get where they're going, but we don't need it. We're Las Vegas, folks. It's not Cincinnati. No offense to Cincinnati. But it's Las Vegas. It's sexy on its own. You just say the 2 words together, the name of the city, and instantly your thoughts go somewhere and you get excited. Whether it's to gamble, whether it's to see a show, whether it's to see a football game, a hockey game, or to see Mark Bonilla, our producer. It doesn't matter. So I don't think they need Tom Brady to make a splash is what I'm saying, and I think that's being overblown a little bit. But I do think that the Raiders will make a splash with their roster this year. But I think they'll do it with the draft, and I think they'll do it with some free agents, right? But if you look at it, you know, you have to think about this as a business too, folks. That's the other thing. So the people who don't think they would jettison Derek Carr, it's a business. It doesn't matter what you think of the individual or the person or whether they're a good player or not. Good players are cut all the time. Doesn't mean they can't play. Doesn't mean they won't go be successful somewhere else. It just means that financially they have other plans. So in order to clear enough money to go get somebody you want, maybe like a Tom Brady, you cut a guy. You get rid of a guy, right? So Derek Carr can be cut this year. And, you know, you can do that. But I don't think it's going to happen. But I know I'm talking on both sides of my mouth, folks. But don't be surprised if it did. Okay? But it's a long shot, you know. You might as well betting the Raiders to win the Super Bowl next year is probably a better bet than Tom Brady playing for the Raiders at this point if you want to bet on the futures at the sports books here, right? Which you can do, and it's already big for next year already. So it'll be interesting, but I don't know. I think tell me what you think. You want to call in, tweet at me at LVGully, LVGULLY, and of course, Silver Black, the number 2 day is our Twitter handle for the show and the website. And also make sure you check out the website, silverandblacktoday.com. Also our YouTube channel. Make sure, go check out our stadium tour. Did you see our stadium tour? Got about 60,000 hits on that thing already.
Winning.
People up there, you want to see the inside of Allegiant Stadium as it is now, check it out. Also got our drone footage up there as well. So check out the YouTube page, the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Yeah, so there's just so much going on. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And again, if you missed the breaking news, Mookie Betts and David Price reportedly traded from the Red Sox to the Dodgers, or as I like to pronounce it, the Dodgers. All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll close out the show. We got one more segment left here on the Silver and Black tonight, whichever one you prefer.
CBS Sports Radio.
From Allen to Zog and all the Davises, Jacksons, and Woodsons in between, we've got your Raiders covered. This is Silver and Black Tonight on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Tonight, the next to the last Silver and Black Tonight this season. That's right. After next week, we will be on hiatus with the Tuesday night show. So you'll have to just deal with us for 2 hours a week. And we might do some videos and some podcast stuff as things happen. But, of course, the draft is going to be here in Las Vegas. Lots going on. Also, tonight on CBS Sports Radio 1140, 7:30 p.m. pregame, 8 o'clock tip-off, the University of Nevada in Reno. The Wolfpack take on Air Force. Right? No one can stop the USA. Okay, sorry, I can't sing.
Wow.
Yes.
They're handing out free tickets to those in the service.
Are they really?
Great.
Up in Reno?
Yes. Yeah.
That's very cool. My son's dorm is right across the street.
Oh, nice.
And he somehow finds no time to get there. Go figure. But, yes, so they're on tonight here on CBS Sports Radio 1140, home of UNR basketball, the Wolfpack, and Steve Alford, their coach. Also, home of the Dodgers, Mookie Betts, David Price on their way to the Dodgers, reportedly. And we are in the last throes of this show as the world is watching the State of the Union. Who's that? That's Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh and the president. Okay. So anyway, we're back to Raiders football. We're not talking politics. We're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about the Raiders. Okay. So we talked about Tom Brady, how this could happen, how it might not happen. But I'm interested to know what the Raiders do in the meantime. There's, the new year, the new NFL year starts the middle of next month. That's when free agents and tenders and all that stuff happen. So we'll know more about what they're going to do with the roster. I expect them to make a splash with some free agents. Not always sexy ones, but ones that are very important for them to build. And so I want to see what happens there. And, of course, the run-up to the draft will be crazy this year with the draft being here in town as well. So it's going to be fun, and I just want to thank you guys again for being with us on the Tuesday night show. We use this show a lot to kind of go over what happened in the Sunday night game, since our show happens Sunday morning before the Raiders games, whether they were in the morning or in the afternoon. We were able to be on this show thanks to the folks here at CBS because they saw the need for it, and it was great. So it was always good to be able to kind of digest and talk about the game that was, and we'll do that again next year as well. It's very cool. But been a great season, too, not only on Silver and Black tonight, but today. The London trip was amazing. It seems like it was 5 years ago now, but that was fantastic. One of the great wins for the Raiders this week, too. But it's going to be interesting to follow this. I think this offseason is going to be fascinating. With all the Las Vegas move, with the stadium, which, stay with us on the stadium. We're going to keep you updated along about that all summer long as well. So make sure you stay with us both on the radio and on video as well. But we'll keep you up to date on that. The move here, they're not going to move here officially until after training camp up in Napa, and hopefully we'll be in training camp at Napa. But we'll keep you updated on that. But all that stuff that's happening, who's going to come with the Raiders? We've gotten to know a lot of their support staff, front office folks, ticket folks. Are they going to come here? Some of them will, for sure. Some of them might not. If you're from the Bay Area and that's home, you might not want to leave. So I get that. So it'll be interesting to see how these pieces fall into place. But I know a lot of you are coming into town over the next several months and planning for the draft. If you already haven't gotten your draft hotel room, you're in trouble, okay? So you might want to Airbnb it or something. I think they're illegal in the city of Las Vegas now. But anyway, you can do that. You can't sleep on my couch. I did that once, and I'm not doing it again. But anyway, yes. Mark, listen, man, thanks so much for your help with the show this year.
Oh, yeah, I helped out so much. But, yes, you're welcome.
You did. You keep it all together.
It's always a blast.
It's always the mastermind behind the scenes, and that's Mark Bonilla. He's always keeping us on. I do try. Oh, you do more than try, my man. And, of course, Chaz Osborne, who's not here tonight. But,
he sucks.
But he'll be here next week. He'll be here next week for the last show.
Good.
So we can hear his optimism. He's always optimistic.
He is.
He's always positive. Glass is always half full, which sometimes makes me want to hit him in the face. But
wow.
But it's the other way too. He hates it when I get realistic and negative. Then he wants to hit me. Anyway, we are out of time. But guys, thanks so much for getting it. We're going to also talk on Sunday again. Joe Finelli, who did the mock draft with the Raiders, trading up to number 3 with the Lions to get Tua. We're going to talk to him. Also, a couple other surprises on Sunday. We'll get to that as well. For the entire staff here at CBS Sports Radio 1140, including our program director, Paul Ihender, and our producer and engineer, Mark Bonilla, and Chaz Osborne, my co-host. I am Scott Branson. We'll talk to you on Sunday from 8 to 10 a.m. on Silver and Black. Today, we'll see you then, or actually, we'll talk to you then. Take care, everybody. Have a great week.